Okay, this is take 2 because David screwed up the recording.
We are going to Toman, boys. Toman.
Yeah, fishing. Finally.
Stay tuned.
Welcome to our fishing trip to Belum, Temenggong. We do these trips every year. That's Paul Arden, who joined us at the houseboat. And we're having a discussion about the Sungai Tiang massive fishing project. And you can see everyone here. We are catching up on our dinner because we arrived quite late at the houseboat. This is the next morning. I'm just stepping out from the room. Each room is shared by 2 people. This will be our first full day here. Good morning.
How's it going?
Good. I'll do a tour of the houseboat and show you guys in another video. Dark clouds. We do these trips annually, but our last trip here was 2 years ago. We had to cancel the 2020 trip due to the pandemic. This trip itself was postponed a couple of times due to travel restrictions. So it's really nice to be back here. I'm going to try to make this video a little bit different and show you guys more things that are going on during one of these houseboat trips. Breakfast is almost ready. Pagi. We've been doing these annual trips for many years. These trips are usually comprised of a couple of familiar faces. And it's not just about fishing actually. It's very much a get together of some old friends. Every one of us share the same interests. Plus, Temenggong is a really nice place to be at and to spend a couple of nights in the houseboat right in the jungle. At the time of this trip happening, the travel restriction has been lifted for about 2 months now, so plenty of people have been coming here to fish. I don't really know what to expect from the fishing, so I'm keeping my expectations low. And the water level is really pretty low as well, much lower than what we actually like. So if you don't have a wire, your chances are slim. Because here nowadays it's not easy to get a Toman to bite.
Oh, I see.
So when one does actually bite, you want to be... I was talking to Anthony there. Anthony is joining us for the first time. And funny thing is I'm telling him the fly fishing for Toman is not easy. Turns out by the end of this trip, Anthony had a fantastic time catching plenty of fish, including his first Toman, and he didn't even have wire leader on his fly. Just goes to prove again, when it comes to fishing, you just never know what will happen. Hainanese coffee.
Make sure pakai bagas. Gitu naik aja. David, juveniles are my specialties.
He ate your fly. Oh, it's coming again.
Yeah, he's eating.
Nope. That's what they do.
Juveniles are my specialty. If I come there, I'll embarrass you.
Oh, here comes another one.
Okay, hit.
Yes. Oh. They always do that. Oh, yeah.
Get those ones. Alright, come on. Get somebody who's never eaten it before.
Zoe, coffee.
Oh, this is wonderful.
You didn't know.
That's all I eat. Yes.
No self.
Oh, people. What is a Toman?
Get.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Eat it.
I don't know if they enjoy this coffee. My favorite coffee is still the one that they serve in the shop.
But the one is 3-1 ready one.
Just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's black.
Yeah. Spooked it. David is having some fun with some kaloi or giant gurami, but these are small ones here. And also there was a Toman. So this kaloi is one of the target species in Belum, Temenggong, but they are extremely unpredictable and not easy at all to catch.
Yeah, they don't see them. When they come up, my body will get one kind.
That's what the kaloi do all the time.
Yeah.
And after your 5,000 cars, you get pissed off.
You ready to go? Hey, you changed already?
I'm changed
Old man all waiting already.
Really?
Yeah. I also didn't know. I thought waiting for the houseboat to move.
Oh. Fucking jealous.
As usual, you're quickest to get on the boat.
You can't feel doing. I can feel the Pfizer effect going away. Pen apa tu?
Hah? Tak ada. Apa tu? Dia sama Yukong yang tinggi tu. One by one, the boys are getting onto their boats and heading out to fish. And the houseboat will meet us inside later on.
You're fishing front today, you come?
Okay.
Both also Jilumis.
Yeah. Tell you the stream dance. Very good rocks.
Never used before.
And then for saltwater, the cross current is also damn good. That's the one I use in Kokos. Buka?
Okay, good luck, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Good luck. Bring back sebarau.
Okay, apa? Ada thruster.
Oh, dah tak.
Brand new thruster.
Setelah dikurung selama 2 tahun.
Bukan. Okay, bring back 1 or 2 big fat sebarau.
Appreciate that.
Yep. Let's go get a quick piss before we get on the boat and head out to fish. See, what do we have? What's this? Grapes? Very healthy. Where's the Sbarro? Where's the Sbarro?
Ayo.
Sbarro mana?
Mana ada?
Day 2. Yesterday was a total washout for me. I like it to rain here, but not rain when I'm out fishing. Hopefully today we'll see some sunlight and some action. But at the moment the sky is pretty gloomy. As we often do, I start off the early morning casting poppers for Sbarros. Oh yeah. Akhirnya. Kuat juga. Kuat tarik juga. Wih, Toman. Dengan sebarau. Wih, tarik ni. Patut dah kuat tarik. Oh. Okey. Dah boleh balik lah. Terima kasih. 2 kilo pun tak sampai. Okay, thank you. That. Not a giant, still a pretty nice catch. And just looking at my leader rig. This is the first time I actually used a swivel for the popper. I thought I wanted to try that out. And this wire leader is also, I'm using it for the first time. It's the SA stainless steel nylon coated wire. It's only 20 pounds and it stood up to the snakehead, but it's pretty beaten up though. So I'll test it more, hopefully more Toman will oblige. After landing that Toman, we moved to another spot not too far away. We had to abandon our plan to fish at a particular river because somebody was already there before us. So over here I'm continuing casting for sebarau with a popper. Sebaraus generally they like to station themselves in and close to structures. You should put your fly as close to or into the structures. There's a saying, no snack, no fish, and it applies and it's very true when it comes to fishing for sebarau most of the time. So generally this early in the morning, the Toman are less active because the temperature are still low. I find that we tend to see more Toman sometimes from 8 AM onwards, sometimes 9 AM onwards. It depends, But generally when the sun comes out or things starts to warm up a little bit more. So early morning I like to concentrate on the sebaraus. But like you saw earlier just now, sometimes Toman can spring a surprise and grab your fly. When you're fishing in still water, like many of the lakes in Malaysia, sometimes you can be doing a lot of casting. It's good to be equipped with something you are comfortable casting all day and a couple of days, because half the time or more you actually be blind casting. The exception is when you are just focused on casting to rising Toman, then you'll be doing a lot less casting then. For me, a 6 weight line or 7 weight line max will be most ideal to cast for sebarau, as I'll be often casting poppers. So 6 weight or 7 weight will do nicely, and they have to be tropical lines. Another good reason for choosing this setup is in case I hook up a Toman, there's still a good chance we can handle the Toman using a 6 or 7 weight setup. Not getting any top water response from the sebarau, so at this spot I've changed to using a sinking line, and the setup here is a sink tip on my Sage method. So with the sinking line I cast it out and then wait for the fly to go down before I start retrieving. There's a small little waterfall there that flows in, and then there's a fallen tree with all the snacks and all. That's exactly where the sebaraus like to hide. I have a 3-rod setup here, a streamer on a sinking line for the sebarau, and then a popper on a floating line for Toman, and another floating line setup in case we come across any kaloi or giant gurami.
Tapi kena betul-betul dekat lah casting.
Back to casting popper at the Toman. This is the first set of babies that I encountered on this trip. So for those of you who are not familiar, the parent Toman or giant snakehead, they will guard and protect their babies from predators. You can see the babies on the bottom left hand side of the screen. So every now and then they need to come out for air. What I'm doing now is actually waiting for the adult fish to come up for air. They don't come up as often as the babies do. Sometimes they'll come up amongst the babies, sometimes nearby, sometimes a bit further away. You got to be ready when you see them and quickly present your fly to them.
Alamak, dia tak naik pun. Nampak tak tadi? Dia tengah jalan, dia dah U-turn. Dekat sangat.
What happened there was I saw the parent fish coming up, but then before it reached the surface, it actually turned around and went back down. Very likely they are spooked, and maybe I'm just too close and they saw me. It's around midday now, and weather is getting hot. I'm getting hungry, so we'll head back to the houseboat, which is just around the corner from where I was last fishing for the Toman. So this is normal for us. We will fish until around 1 p.m. and then head back to the houseboat for our lunch. And this is also when everyone catch up with what's happening out there for the morning session. Now this coming back for lunch is entirely up to the individual who may not even want to come back for lunch. But for us, we normally come back, and then after lunch we'll just hang around, and then some will take a quick shower to cool down, and having an afternoon siesta is also rather nice.
Tak payahlah. Tak payah.
And then at around 3 to 4 p.m. we'll head out again and fish the evening session.
Nombor 1.
I actually haven't caught that many sebarau up to this stage, although myself and the others as well have been seeing lots of activities.
Susah mau tangkap you. Dua-dua pun kejar.
Here I am stalking another set of babies, and the cast just now resulted in both the parent fish chasing after the fly.
Here, pergi.
Waiting for mama or papa to resurface again. Unless you prefer to blind cast, fishing for Toman is pretty much a waiting and stalking game. It's not just the fish that are guarding their babies, even those that are, some call solo, or some call them bachelor fish, and some call them free swimmers. Yeah. It's also a waiting game, waiting for them to come up for air. That's when you take your shot. I just love all the sound coming out from the jungle.
Nah. Oh.
Getting one on a lure is fun. Getting one on a fly is something else. Hard to describe, but the satisfaction is incredible.
Ni bujang ni. Ni bukan bapa mak ni.
I'm quite sure I casted to one of the parent fish when it came up together with the babies, but somehow ended up getting a free swimmer instead.
Buka, Zau. Tangguk, buka.
Makan dia punya mak.
Oh.
Dia punya pak.
Saya nampak anak, lepas tu saya nampak dia, saya kasih dia makan. Even though I'm using a popper, this fish totally engulf the popper fly. And unhooking them can be sometimes like a little surgery as they close their mouth tight and refuse to open up.
Ingat mama kan dia.
Oh, saya pun ingat mama. Saya nampak dia, saya baru kas. Pusing dia makan. Tiba-tiba warna tak sama.
Okey.
Okey, terima kasih. Okey. Bagus. Well, that was an excellent way to end the day. Now back to the houseboat. Dinner, get some rest, talk nonsense with the guys, and then we'll do this again tomorrow morning.
Belum. Bukan separuh masak kan?
Early morning feeding frenzy with the boys at the breakfast table.
How much is it now? Right?
The same price. Around there lah. And because the new one is around new model is, I think if you just buy the basic camera with one battery, it's around 2,000.
I've got 5 batteries.
But the 9 onwards, you cannot use the old battery. That's the bad thing. Because the camera is actually slightly larger. The battery also slightly larger. But the good thing is it lasts longer.
That's longer lah.
Pandai ah.
That's how they survive lah, actually, you know.
Can use the old batteries ah.
But the 10 can use the 9 battery lah. So it's like they start a new range lah, you know. But it makes sense to me lah, because battery life is always an issue. I was talking about the GoPro camera with the army there. Should have recorded all the conversation last night. The liquor. It's educational.
I learned a lot. Seriously.
Yeah. All the wisdom. Alright, let's go fishing. Kena. Aduh, mak. Dia mau lagi. Aduh, 3 kali. 3 kali lucu. Ada lagi. Tapi kecil. Toman rempit. That was fun. That Toman came back for the fly 3 times. But it kept swimming back towards the boat. They couldn't get a good hook set. Toman. Tak nampak pun. Tu kayu. Oh, tak kena dia. Dia datang dari tepi. Oh, tapi tak kena. Laju dia. I love all the sound that come out from the jungle. Let's listen again. Let me know in the comment what you think is making that sound. Dia ikut slow aja. Well, that early morning part of the day was exciting, but then the action kind of fizzled out. So now we're back to the houseboat for our lunch. Back to fishing. Just had a interested Toman going after my popper. Ooh, got an eat. This is actually not the Toman I was targeting, but this one came up at my 3 o'clock. I flicked the fly over and he saw the popper, turn around and ate it. Ada kayu. Tak ada. Bisa. Ya. Enggak sih. Garang nampak saja dia pusing. Lebih kurang sama saiz semalam.
Sama saiz.
That was the perfect way to end the day. It's a beautiful evening sunset and the air is filled with sound coming from the jungle by bugs like crickets, cicadas, and many others. So it's back to the houseboat for dinner, catch up with the boys, and just chill out.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes and face the blast.
This will be our final day here, and the weather is not looking too good this morning. We still have a half day of fishing before we head back.
No way, man.
This is the raining season after all, and fish on we shall. He's hoping you'll buy. Here we happen upon indigenous orang asli who is on a bamboo raft and collecting his catch from the river. And it looked like he has a pretty decent haul. Whenever you fish in Belum, wildlife sighting is not uncommon. And one of the biggest attractions must be the elephants. Seeing a wild elephant is truly quite a sight. It's customary for us to take a group photo. It's a good memento to look back over the years who have been on the trips. And I want to let you guys know that I'm also making some videos on touring these houseboats to show you guys what the inside are like, 2 different sizes of houseboats. And also after this trip, a little bit more than aggressive, but new trick rather. 2 weeks later, myself and Yukong, we came back
Tahun lepas kami pergi dia banyak rumput man.
and did more fishing. So yeah, remember to watch that video. As always, thanks for watching. Remember to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think, or if you have any questions. I appreciate all the support that you guys give.